All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the recreation of an old podcast called CryptoScam. Man, these episodes used to be the highlight of this YouTube channel, but now they are a lot harder to come by. But it is back and back with a vengeance. We will try and bring you these episodes more often. But on this episode of CryptoScam, my buddy Joe Saz and I are going to dive deep into the wonderful world of TokenPay, as I refer to consistently one of the scammiest projects in the space. Joe Saz, thanks again for joining me on this program.
Yeah, happy to be. I couldn't be happier to be here. One of the things I love most is bashing scam coins, and I mean, this one's going to be fun because Derek is just a moron, and he's made a lot of mistakes. So we're going to be going over these with a fine-tooth comb, and I'm really looking forward to this episode.
Yep. Now it's it may not make sense to a lot of people why TokenPay is one of our highlights, because I did not even realize that TokenPay only ranks around number 450 on the coin market cap depth chart, and its market cap has now dwindled all the way down. Total market cap has dwindled to about $5 million. That's still $5 million of scam money that they have, and we will get into that. It's still pretty bad. At one point, this thing was hundreds of millions, I believe. Now it's only down to 5 million, and it has a complete pathetic. One second, I'm looking for it now. Control F. Nope. I was going to search for it on CoinMarketCap. It's somewhere in the 400. I wanted to get the daily volume, but we are just going to go to screen share, and we will go from there. Let's go ahead and start. We might be talking about this project for a little while today. We're going to try and keep it to a reasonable time. I just want to point out that on this YouTube channel, there is a playlist for all of the older CryptoScam episodes. It actually started with the topic of Bitcoin. Some of these are really old. I think it's going on 2.5 to 3 years now. I really wanted something like this to keep going as a weekly podcast, but this podcast requires research, and time was simply getting in the way. Here is CoinMarketCap. It takes forever to load with a million shitcoins, but let's look at where TPAY ranks, and that takes us all the way down into 461 zone with an looks like a total market cap of $5 million, a token price of 30 cents, and average daily volume of 70,000, I guess. I think I have it up right here. We're gonna look at the price of it perhaps a little bit later, but I'm looking at the numbers, and 24-hour volume, $55,000 worth of trading. I'm not even sure what exchanges they trade on. Yeah. Certainly didn't meet any of their promises of where they're going to trade on. But let's review a little bit. How did TokenPay get on my radar? And I believe it was probably with this. So around over a year ago now, somehow I said something in passing about, that TokenPay is just another one of these altcoin scams, along with everything else in CoinMarketCap starting from 2 on down. Most projects ignore that because Tone calls everything a scam. But when a project doesn't ignore it, and the insiders of that project have a problem with my statement, I take some time and start looking into that project. And you know what happens the moment you start looking into that project? It is infinitely scammier than your original statement. It has always been the case. The moment you start turning over rocks, it doesn't even take long. Like within 10 to 15 minutes, you go, oh my God, like how dumb are people to put, TokenPay as their logos, other than they're getting they're shilling and they're actually being paid by TokenPay. So this really got on my radar because of Charlie Lee and Litecoin, because Charlie Lee and the Litecoin Foundation went into business, and they're considered partners of TokenPay. I've seen that referenced several times. So TokenPay certainly considers the Litecoin Foundation partners because anytime you can get anyone slightly more credible than you to be associated with you, that's very, very good for your brand. This is why I get daily emails about associating with companies that I have to tell people that is never going to happen. So that's how it got onto my attention. The moment you start looking into it, you run into these people. You start running into people from Verge. So this guy, some anonymous, his name is CryptoRect, and he's on the team of Verge. He shows Verge currency all day, and he had a C-level position at TokenPay. He was one of their team members. So immediately after I pointed out how this guy is just an outright scammer of Verge, and he's your chief marketing officer at TokenPay, within 24 hours, he was removed from the team website of TokenPay. And basically, that's how fast, that's all it takes to get some of these scam coins to change their tune on everything. I looked into the history of the CEO, Derek Capo, and you've done a lot more research on this, Joe. And I'll add these links into the video description. I know they're not there yet. Were you gonna say something?
Oh yeah, I've done a lot of research on this guy.
Oh, yeah.
We got some smoking guns here that we'll be dropping. I'm actually enjoying this background because my background started with him much more recently.
Yeah, so this is before I knew you, Joe, and I started looking into his background. I mean, like, he doesn't have that much of a useful history, but so basically, at one point he had like 4 jobs, right? So like the dates, like there's lots of there's definitely a shady history here that I was pointing to. So let's start with this, right? So he started out. Here's his education. He studied Chinese language, basically. Beijing Language and Culture. He was at his education is from Beijing Language and Culture University. Graduated that in 2009. He went to Florida International University before that. That's where he got his BA in business. And his experience, his work experience, equity and bond analyst for US, China, Brazil. That seems to be a reasonable job. I don't have a problem with that. Now, after that, things start to get interesting. He's the chief executive officer of Capo Capital Management. Sounds like an investment fund. And he's been doing that till the present day, but I took this screenshot a year ago. So Capo Investment Management. He is also the vice president of a company called International, and out of San Francisco, the Bay Area, and Miami, Florida. He's been doing that since 2015. And he's also the co-founder of eFin, and he's been doing that since March 2015, and that shut down in 2016. Why did it shut down? Oh, and he also had another project that he was working on at the same time. So here was my point. Anyone else think starting 2 jobs that have nothing in common at the same time is a little strange? So here, he became vice president of a company, RoboTerra, and at the same time, he co-founded a company called eFin while he was already working 2 jobs. So that is very, very ambitious. Very ambitious. Let's put it that way. So eFin only lasted a little over a year, and here's what happened. So basically, well, eFin has its own background, right? This was a way. It was basically like, I mean, you looked into eFin, right? Like, what's the best way to explain it? I mean, they say, oh, it's for the retail investor. Basically, it was financial advice.
So today, eFin is now something else. It's their attempt at a decentralized exchange. So eFin is now it's evolved from that, what it was back then, into today, which is one of the scams that they're doing is selling they're selling eFin tokens on their decentralized exchange and doing pre-sales for premium memberships and all this kind of garbage. And last time I spoke, it seems like they were making no progress. They've blown every deadline on trying to make this decentralized exchange. So it's kind of funny that they're trying to turn this into some sort of money machine by continuously selling memberships to something that really isn't going to turn out a product.
Right. Well, Ethan basically failed. And here I made notes when I did research on this a year ago. So here is Ethan. To empower the individual investor with second level information, and then on and on and on. Well, and then I pointed out he must have learned the hard way that fundamental analysis in small cap companies gets his investors into a lot of trouble. And here's what got him into a lot of trouble. So one of the main companies that they were saying was a good investment. So here, shareholders and Ethan founder Derek Capo issues open letter to Skull Candy shareholders. I think Skull Candy came up in your investigation as well.
It barely. My focus was. I'm gonna let you keep going because this is more history. We'll get to my stuff here pretty soon.
Yeah, I like covering history before we get to the current stuff. So basically, Skull Candy was a low cap stock that was highly recommended by Ethan, and they were even investors themselves and stuff like that. But Skull Candy basically failed, and so here. So here's his letter to shareholders. So this was an article in Business Wire. So Derek Capo urges all shareholders to not tender shares in CPO LLC. That's the company that was going to buy Skull Candy. Requests Skull Candy to release detailed financials of Astro Gaming business unit. Believes company is worth more than $8 a share, given growth in Astro Gaming. So basically, a company called Skull Candy has failed that they were recommending to buy. When it failed, another company was going to buy them out for $5.75, but that would have been a giant loss to Derek Capo, a reputation of their company, and other people that they put into this stock. So he wrote this giant letter urging the holders of Skull Candy not to sell the stock for $5.75 a share. Now, at the time, the stock is trading way below that number. So the stock is trading below $5.75. There's an offer for a buyout at $5.75, and he's convinced that the company should be worth at least $8. So he's trying to prevent the sale of a company that is worth even less. And from everything I've read, that basically kind of destroyed Ethan because that was like their number one investment in a company that failed and got bought out at a much cheaper price. Mm-hmm. And this is the kind of research I did, like I said, over a year ago. Now, here is where a year ago things got really, really interesting. So Litecoin's Charlie Lee signs an NDA with rising giant TokenPay. Well, that's obviously a bad headline now. TokenPay is almost completely decimated, like we all expected. Lightcard on the way. What happened to Lightcard, Charlie? Where is Lightcard? I haven't heard of Lightcard. Where is that project? So TokenPay has partnered with a couple of blockchain startups with Verge, Engine, another probably failed project. I'd never heard of it then, still haven't heard of it yet. And most recently, a non-disclosure agreement with Litecoin. Not sure how you can get a non-disclosure agreement with Litecoin, but that's more to the authors and editors of these articles that don't know anything. So the announcement of a signed NDA between Charlie Lee and TokenPay's Derek Capo was later confirmed on TokenPay's Twitter page. Okay, still curious what that NDA is about. So right here, when asked of his honest thoughts on partnership, Charlie Lee said, "I think having more places to spend crypto is good, but I do hope they accept more than just Verge, another cryptocurrency we may do a crypto scam on in the near future, because that is another outright scam." It's quite hard for people to get XVG. Well, yeah, because it's a useless currency. Just to spend on Pornhub. I would love to know if Pornhub still accepts it. I'm sure XVG paid Pornhub millions of dollars to just allow them to accept your currency. This is the old Factom bullshit, right? Where Factom was saying all these companies are using Factom to store data, when in fact they were paying these companies to allow these companies to let Factom store their data. So you were like, hey, Factom says you're their client. And they'd be like, no, Factom's our client. They're paying us money to just put our data in some database, you know? So these are the kinds of, you know, trick things that all of these guys do. So here we go. But having to buy a partner is not a good precedent. You sure about that? Merchants shouldn't need to be bribed. Well, that's very well said, Charlie. I wonder how much you're getting paid to be involved with TokenPay, as you say in your quote, and it's under an NDA, so we may never know. So basically, here's my comment. So this is where Charlie Lee deserves to lose respect from anyone in crypto. I know some people never had respect for Charlie. I used to like Charlie, but like everybody else, they eventually turn outright scammer, assuming you did not feel that Charlie was a scammer during the Litecoin days. The right answer is Pornhub brass are idiots for accepting an insecure garbage crypto like Verge. Even Monero or Litecoin would have been better choices, but still a pretty dumb choice. So that's basically my point to Charlie. One specific distraught XVG fan, one specific distraught XVG fan was TokenPay CEO Derek, who responded citing Litecoin's controversial addition to Coinbase. Interesting. So the TokenPay CEO, who's a straight up scammer, might have been involved in the VRG scam too. That was basically my interpretation of that. So the reason this came about is because Litecoin Foundation and Charlie Lee helped TokenPay move their ICO funds and buy 10% of a bank. So here we go. The heated response soon turned into a meaningful and development-minded approach with both CEOs, Charlie's the CEO for some reason, putting away their differences to focus on the bigger stake at hand. Derek offered Litecoin LTC a chance to join the TPAY ecosystem while quoting TokenPay's acquiring of German bank. So when do you want... Okay, so this is a quote from Derek. So when do you want to talk about real debit card solutions? We are buying 9.9% of a bank in Munich with option to buy the 90%. We have a whole ecosystem and a plan in place. Let me know how we can work together. The battle between old and new world is just getting started. So basically, Derek dangled the fact that they are buying 10% of a bank in front of Litecoin. Litecoin bought the bullshit hook, line, and sinker that this is going to bring Litecoin debit cards by owning this bank and that they can buy 90% more of it. They get involved in this giant deal. And now the TokenPay company owns 10% of this German bank. And I think the legal ramifications of that, when TokenPay blows up and probably the SEC goes after them, is going to be a big, big deal. So good job, German bank, by not doing any due diligence and getting involved with a former ICO. Speaking of the ICO, here were the details of the ICO and all their bonuses. And a lot of this stuff doesn't even exist online anymore. Like if you don't screenshot it at the time, it like disappears. And people realized how scammy how scammy this was even at the time. They basically copied a lot of templates. And so here is TokenPay desktop client. And here is a Spectre coin, some other random shit coin. And they basically just copied and pasted the entire template over to do it. The only shit coins that are not scam coins and the ones you have not yet researched. And that was a quote from Seyfettina Moose that I wanted to add. This was the image of all the bonuses that they would pay out if you bought into the ICO. And of course, they will claim they never did an ICO. So this was a great website and a resource. Do I have it up here? Yeah, so by the way, TokenPayExposed.com, which is where a lot of the scamminess of TokenPay was actually being exposed. That site's no longer available. That site's taken down. And this is unfortunate. But the Bitcoin Talk Forum, which now has 81 pages, is completely filled with all the information and private conversations with Derek Capo. And this has a ridiculous amount of information. And even look at the top, warning. One of the Bitcoin.org users have reported, probably way more than one, that the CEO is basically a scammer. So there you go. It's even a giant red warning up there. Bitcoinist wrote an article, by the way, about that tweet storm that I did that was exposing TokenPay. So here's just one of the screenshots, the bounty program and how it wasn't paid out and how they just kept the money. This is just background. Wait till we get to the new stuff. Of course, the coin price at the time I did this screenshot was still in the like $3 to $4 range, and it has fallen 90% since then, and it's now sitting at 30 cents. So this is, it just gets worse and worse and worse. I don't have much more of a background other than I did a crypto scam on their lawyer. Their lawyer is a very proud real estate and estate planning attorney with zero experience whatsoever, who wrote me a cease and desist letter that was plagiarized from 2007. At least he was smart enough to change some of the dates and actually change it to the word TokenPay. He even straight up plagiarized how his letter is somehow copyrighted, and I'm not allowed to share it publicly. Mr. Garcia has been involved with TokenPay from the pre-ICO days and was probably paid in the token, which is something that the SEC will most likely be looking at. So Horsebox has been doing a lot of scam busting on TokenPay. This is one of my favorite clips of all time that, let me see if I can play the audio of this.
More questions? Yeah, I had a question. I appreciate you guys making this happen and you being here, Derek. But the question I had, I've been going through ICOs and researching a little bit. And how safe are we here in the U.S. Not being an accredited investor investing in this ICO?
How safe as you or for us?
For myself.
You guys are fine. I think one thing I've learned a lot in the industry, especially since working in the finances, as long as the people make money, nobody complains.
So there he is, basically promoting the sale of the ICO in a very, very, very dangerous way. There were other tweets. Thank you, Horsebox, for pointing them out. The link to these threads will be in the video description. There was another video with Charlie Lee himself. It might have been in my other Twitter feed where I might just play that one. I don't even remember this one. What is this? Less than a year in order to be ready for the most secure coin payment platform. Right. Vlad Tortoy, senior backend developer. Oh, I guess this is his profile. From noob to senior in 1 year. Nice. It was
Yeah, I don't think this guy has too much to do with things. He's not really.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. It just shows there. I'm looking for the video with Charlie Lee, but that's okay. If I don't find it, then I don't find it. But yeah, there were lots of good comments to these Twitter threads. All right, that's pretty much my background. Unfortunately, the main link that exposed all of the scamminess of TokenPay doesn't exist. Joe has a lot of screenshots because this thing did exist even as of recently. So we got screenshots. So where do you want to start, Joe? You want to start with some background, or you want to pull up the first picture?
Well, let's just, I just wanted to let everyone know, and especially Derek know why this, like, is a thing. And it's as simple as this, and what Tone touched base on earlier. It's definitely like a scam coin. And so he ended up jumping on Block TV for a debate where I wiped his face, and then he turned it into a Twitter battle, and then started personally attacking analysts and all this stuff. It was really interesting that this guy was getting very, very defensive, aggressive, and I even had a screenshot of him and his little Telegram group of people saying, "Hey, we need to find out everything we can about Joe Saz. Let's get this guy." So it was really interesting to me to see how it's like I don't want to, violent is the wrong word, but how these guys really responded to this, to the exposing of the facts. And so Derek kind of took this a personal route, and then I started digging into them, and it didn't take long to really find information. In fact, people started reaching out to me with information, and a lot of this is what we used. And so here we are with facts, and I want to kind of just build from the ground up from what I have, and start the story from what I believe to be the beginning. Just let me know when you're ready.
Let's do it. Where do you want to start?
right.
I grabbed all the screenshots you sent me, and they were pretty much in the same order that you sent them to me.
Okay, so I'm going to start with a tiny bit of background here, which is Derek Capo, individual, started a fundraise for TokenPay December 6th, 2017, ending December 27th, 2017. I believe those are the exact dates. So he raises 2,000 Bitcoin in December 2017, when Bitcoin was, at the moon, on its way to the moon. No one knew where Bitcoin was going from 20K, but this guy probably thought he was hot potatoes. The big man on campus. So he raises all this money, right? Now he raised it as an individual. Now the thing here is he was trying to say that he raised this under a DBA certificate operating under another company, which you see here in the bottom of the screen is known as Huntington Investment Corp. Now, that is a flat out lie. Derek Capo has no DBA certificate, and the owner of Huntington Investment Corp refuses to issue him one because Derek Capo raised this money illegally, and the last thing anyone wants to do is touch this garbage fundraise, which is tax evasion at the very least, with a 10-foot pole. So Derek raises this money, doesn't incorporate TokenPay until February, and we'll get onto that. So let's just start. Now we have the background. The fund raised 2,000 Bitcoin, estimated USD value of $34.2 million. And again, Derek Capo raised this as an individual, did not pay taxes on it. And that is going to be very, very important for us to prove later on.
Now, it's pretty clear that if you raise, right, raising didn't pay taxes. Can I show that last clip?
This was something that Derek Capo admitted directly to me. He said straight up, I asked Derek, did you pay taxes on the 2,000 Bitcoin you raised in December 2017? No, because the token sale, because the BTC from the token sale is not personally mine. It's like, that's not how this works. When you raise money, you have to pay taxes on it. And he was trying to get another company to take the fall for his inability to legally structure this business. I mean, which is already a gray area, but he didn't pay any taxes. So Derek straight up admitted to me that he didn't pay taxes. Now, no one's going to want to surround themselves with someone that is a complete moron, raises $34.2 million and walks away 2 years later saying, I didn't pay taxes, nor do I need to, because I can try to get some sort of retroactive DBA certificate, which the founder of Huntington Corp refuses to issue because he doesn't want to touch this stuff. So
right. Yeah. Look, guys, we know this is like a libertarian channel and everyone hates to pay taxes. And but we're not talking about, selling your tricked out bicycle for $500, right? We're talking a $34 million raise.
As an individual. So this is what the point more so than the tax evasion part is that this is a project that's going to collapse from the inside. If the IRS, I mean, they're looking for low-hanging fruit, SEC, regulators in general. So if you have money in TokenPay, it's probably going to go to zero just on the fact alone that this is as low of a hanging fruit as it gets. He straight up admitted that he didn't pay taxes. I mean, what more could the IRS ask for in an investigation? So that's more of why we're bringing this up too. I mean, we just want everyone to know that these are the facts, and you do with them what you will. But so there's the $34.2 million raised December 2017. Here's the distribution. So as far as the acquisition of the bank, it took, I don't think they spent the full 30% on the acquisition of the shares of the bank. They gifted 9.9% because law at the time had in Germany said that they can't own 10%. So they did two separate purchases of 9.9%. So they gifted 9.9 to Charlie Lee, and they gifted or the Litecoin Foundation more specifically, and they took 9.9 for themselves. So the thing that's interesting about this bank acquisition, WEG, and I just sent you some stuff more recently, Tone, like earlier, before we started the video. And
it was, I have that here, I think, somewhere. Or here.
Yeah, the bank stuff. Yeah, this stuff is good, man, because if you look at the, this, first off, I think this was more of a real estate type bank. Now, looking at the financials, scroll down to the next chart.
Well, that makes sense. The only thing their lawyer knows is real estate.
Yeah, I mean, it's a completely worthless bank for them to try to acquire in order to get debit cards issued out to TokenPay or Litecoin holders. I mean, you don't go for a real estate bank. It's just like, man, there are so many holes in logic here, like all up and down the chart. But here we have the numbers reported by beginning of 2017. This bank is complete shit. The net income is damn near zero. So this thing is it's probably an easy buy. Maybe they were thinking that they could convert this or something, but this bank is just worthless. And I just don't really see anything in the form of his adoption tactic through a bank like this. So we have this WEG bank that has really no specialty in like lending other than to property and stuff. And I just found it very interesting that Derek was really trying to use this as his justification for what the that 30% allocated toward bank spending was for, and what the end goal in that sense was to accomplish. So I just found that to be very interesting. It's a pretty weird bank to begin with, and now there's a couple other cryptocurrencies tied to it. But we'll see what happens in Germany. So exchange liquidity and stuff like that. That's tied to some potential. There are, what's the word for it?
Wait, so the founder 1 year lockup. You see, when I did this research over a year ago, they were still in the founder 1 year lockup, assuming it ever existed, right? Because none of these things are actually blockchains. And then you have the team and the developer fund also in a 1 year lockup. So all of that ended towards the end of last year. December basically is when they raised the money. And if we look at the price, oh, that's the Verge scam. If you look at the price of the TokenPay, you can see, if we zoom in on what happened at the end of, it would have been at the end of 2018. There goes your value. This is them basically dumping onto the bag holders. And I'm sure they started selling early, because I remember when I took those screenshots, the price of TokenPay was still like $5. And I'm sure they broke into that fund early, and people were even showing me screenshots of the addresses and how money is being spent. And there it goes, from $5 back when I did those screenshots last summer, and all the way down to the current amazing value of 30 cents. And it's amazing it is actually that high. I do expect this to literally go sub 1 penny.
Yeah. So this could very well be some sort of activity by them, but their founders' coins. We do have some blockchain evidence that they have been dumping on their community. Now, this is allegations. This isn't fact yet, and it's hard to prove. So, I mean, the truth is,
look, it's only hard to prove because no one cares to go and prove it, because this project has become totally irrelevant, other than a bunch of trolls that are still getting paid because if they cashed out 2,000 Bitcoin and held on to some of them, they still have millions and millions of dollars, including try to go after us for doing the show.
Well, that's the thing. I think they're out of money, and that's why I think he's trying to resell ETH memberships and platinum memberships and gold memberships and all this stuff, because I really do think Derek is out of money, and I think he's isolated. Like I said, the number one guy that when I started my investigation, I was under the impression that Derek had a hidden backer, which was Charles Moscow. Now he's the owner of Huntington Corporation. But as Charles Moscow came out of the shadows a little bit to say, hey, Joe, I was just a seed investor. I'm not like this, big fish in the TPAY ecosystem. I started talking with him a bit more and found that he and Derek are actually not on good terms. In fact, they're quite enemies right now. So it's it's interesting to see. It really throws everything up in the air. Like everything that Derek said was really, really manipulative. So this guy is like, biting and scratching to really keep his head above the water. And I think he does have money, or is going to get money through potentially scamming more people. And hopefully we can prevent that from happening. But don't pay for this ETH membership garbage, or their decentralized exchange pipe dream. Yeah, on to, the rest of this stuff.
Right. So I really like this graphic. It says number 4. Yes, the TokenPay sale is open to everyone worldwide. We have a highly regarded US lawyer on our team named Senan Garcia. That was the guy that I did a whole token scam episode about, the real estate and estate planning lawyer out of Florida that is basically a TokenPay bag holder. And I don't understand what he knows anything about security law, because there is nothing in his background that even hints at a security law. Now, I actually want to go to tokenpay.com. I want to see if he's still on their team. TokenPay, I think they have a .com, right?
I'm not. It might be something else, but
nope, got it.
There we go.
All right, where's their team? I want to see who's on this team, because I took screenshots of this a while back.
So there's Derek.
There's Senan Garcia. That's their lawyer. And they have a new chief marketing officer, because that was the Verge guy before that. I'm pretty sure I got fired by just sending out a tweet. All right, that's their team. That's who they still have.
Litecoin Foundation is still around.
Yeah. Well, no, and of course, Verge is. Verge was another financial backer of them. They have the Litecoin Foundation, they have the Bank AG, and Token Swiss, which are we gonna cover that?
Token Swiss AG is basically them. So just a quick covering. He began incorporating TokenPay in February of 2018, and I believe. Well,
let's get this straight. He incorporated TokenPay after the ICO, after he made 8,000 Bitcoin in the ICO.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying. This was a personal fundraise. There was no company, no DBA certificate, and that's one of the documents that we have in the line. We'll find it. It could probably be a couple in. Try it there. Yep. Yeah. Try like.
I think it's over here. I think it's over here.
Yeah, we have his incorporation documents somewhere.
There we go. Nope. That's what that's his other domains, corporation documents. Right, they're here somewhere.
We'll get there. They might be. Where are they?
No, we definitely have. Here we go.
TokenPay Tech Limited. Okay, so this could be one of their other ones, because like I said, here we go. There's the first one. This is it. This is the first time that he incorporated. Okay, late February 2018. He did the fundraise December 2017. All the money that he made without a DBA certificate was a personal fundraise. This was literally people putting money directly into the pocket of Derek Capo. Now, there is no DBA certificate, and the owner of Huntington Corp refuses to issue one because he doesn't want to get caught up in Derek's garbage attempt at trying to raise money. So this is really dangerous for Derek as an individual to have raised money and not paid taxes on it. We're talking some serious implications here. What are your thoughts, Tone?
No, I agree. This is why I don't even get involved in anything related to this, because I know how complicated the laws are, and you need to actually know what you're doing if you're going to solicit strangers for money. And the thing is, I bet you most ICOs are going to run into this problem. But this is definitely a low-hanging fruit
Yeah.
here with TokenPay. When you register your company 3 months after selling your ICO for 2,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah, there's a pretty big delay there.
I bet. So here, and here is a screenshot of text messages where he's basically promoting his own coin, which is certainly a violation of the Howey test, where you are encouraging people to speculate in your token for the only reason speculation.
Yeah, that's basically what Elon Musk just got in trouble for, saying that he was going to go private after $420 shares. I mean, if that's the case for a top company on the stock market, then Derek doing this is like, again, we're just presenting the facts that this is like very low hanging fruit. If there is a regulatory altcoin apocalypse, TPAY is going to be first, like one of the first in line, and it's going to be terrible for any bag holder. In fact, every bag holder on their little TPAY Telegram group where they rush to support each other, and every time that someone's talking trash about TPAY, all those dudes are going to get crushed. And I can't wait to see these little these supporters really lose everything as a result of blind support for this complete moron Derek Capo.
Right. So here, look. So he's promising $10 of his own, that his token will be worth $10 after the 5th of November. Now, there's only been one November since the creation of TPAY, because it started in 2017, late in December. So it couldn't have been 2017 November. We've only had November 2018, and now we're in 2019. So if we go to November 5th of, well, it clearly pumped around November 5th of 2018. They pumped it all the way to just under $2 a coin, and it currently trades at 30 cents. The coin at IPO, at ICO, traded as high as probably almost $10. Let me see. Right, so yep, it broke $10 a coin right after the ICO, and that's when the insiders can immediately start dumping it. It then come close to $10 a coin in January at the very peak of the market, though the peak of the market did come in December, but there was that secondary peak in the middle of January. Oh wait, I'm sorry, this is April now. We moved fast. Oh, because it didn't start trading. I'm sorry, guys, they did the ICO earlier. It didn't start trading until like May of 2018, April, May. It pumped to above $10 in April, and then it had one more shot at $10 in late April, early May of 2018, and then it was all downhill, and now it's worth 30 cents. And if you think this thing is going to come back, you are crazy.
Yeah, I agree with that. This thing's not going anywhere but down. Not without some serious manipulation. And I think if you have someone, if you're that dumb to have all this going on and then try to manipulate the price, you're really digging yourself a much deeper grave. Which is what Derek's been doing. From what I hear within the community of the TPAY ecosystem, from what I from the numerous things, I'm talking Derek not paying people, straight up being disrespectful to a number of individuals. People are really not comfortable with Derek and how he treats them. So this is all news that I'm getting from individuals within the TPAY ecosystem, and even messages that I've received from former employees who are very disgruntled, saying that Derek treats people like garbage, and he kind of thinks of himself as a kingpin. So yeah, I think this thing's falling apart. Like every you pull the string, and everything is falling apart from every angle. So here's
what is this document? The TokenPay Technology Limited company from July of last year.
So this is them incorporating in multiple different areas. I think his goal was to try to, I don't know exactly what his goal was, but he incorporated in about 3 different areas. You saw the Florida one, which was the very first in late September, late February, onto Hong Kong, and then what was there's one more incorporation
Yeah,
document,
this one.
the TokenPay
It was
Swiss, yeah.
Virgin Islands or something. British Virgin Islands.
Yeah, so I think this is Derek just trying to get ahead of more problems because maybe he thought that if he could split this up into multiple companies, he might be able to let one die and another live kind of thing. But now they have like some offices in Romania. They have obviously still shares in the West WEG Bank in Germany. I think this is just them trying to find a regulatory area that they can park their car and chill out. But I just don't think that anything like that's going to be able to happen considering the foundations upon which this was built, which is all scam.
Right, and this is that TokenPay Swiss AG that they created.
Yeah. So pretty much yeah, TokenPay Swiss AG is basically just their another version of what the TokenPay Florida was. If there's honestly some of the digging that I've done is like we might even need to do a part two. I'm going to be honest. This stuff gets like pretty stupid. But
What
yeah.
is trusted advisors? Is it advisors or advisors? I always get that messed up. .ch. Oh, that needs to be an S there. That's probably going to take me nowhere. Here we go. Is that the right one? Let me see. Trusted advisors with an O, yeah. Okay. I'm curious what this is. And trusted advisors. Oh, it's a law firm. Okay. Curious who the lawyers are here. They have a philosophy and they have locations.
Yeah, I mean, I strongly question his choice in legal counsel. It seems like he's done a lot of really silly moves. So I'm kind of curious to know how much these people are charging him.
We will need to look more into this. This isn't telling me anything useful at the moment, neither good nor bad. That one will require some more time. Look, here's the thing, right? I know some people don't like us talking about shit coins, and some people want to focus on what's going on in Bitcoin. You have to realize that the main reason why all of these shit coins are the same is because TokenPay will never be a currency. Look, because they're a company. That's why they can never be a currency. Look how he's scrambling to find jurisdictions to incorporate this thing. So you really have to question people's intelligence when they believe that a company that is trying to find a domicile is going to have some kind of a currency that other people or companies or businesses are going to accept as a politically neutral currency. And the stupidity of people that believe this has been frustrating me for 4 years now, continuously, and it just gets worse and worse and worse.
Gonna have to agree.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I was getting your audio there or not.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd say like let's just kind of go pick by pick and see what else we can get here. So there's EFIN, a platform recently launched by YEC members Derek Capo, Charles Moscow, and Christoph Ronka. This was
right. So that's the same Charles Moscow that Derek Capo is now trying to get the right documents in order to avoid being personally liable for collecting all the ICO money.
Yep, that's it. Charles Moscow is the owner of Huntington, and that's really the company that Derek is trying to get the DBA from. And Derek and Charles are not friends. I guess Charles was a seed investor, and Derek, I guess, took advantage of that and tried to manipulate Charles into thinking he was gonna have this massive crypto ecosystem. I'm sure, like it is with a lot of seed investors, There are people that just have no idea, you know, other than that crypto is the future, right? And so a lot of people might be willing to put money in something like this, but it really takes a manipulator like Derek Capo to drive that point home and get people's money.
Right, and EFIN started in well, here's the thing, right? EFIN ended, or him as the co-founder no longer referenced EFIN as of last year on his LinkedIn, that it ended in June 2016, and that's around the same time that this headline is at, which is, I find, very strange.
Yeah, so EFIN turned into a different thing. Now it's a decentralized exchange, and there's really, like, the decentralized exchange concept, as great as it is and it works, it's slow, and for people to trust, you know, something like that, there needs to be a lot of, you know, proper programming and automation. So Derek's memberships that he's been trying to get people to pay for, like the platinum and premium and gold and all these memberships, and I have those on a Word document. I got into one of those accounts through someone else's account, took a lot of screenshots, and basically you have to pay money to get access to, you know, early access to this. Yeah, see if
well, EFIN.com is now just shills TokenPay everywhere.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a DEX, and they're supposed to use EFIN tokens as well to do everything. So watch, click on join EFIN now. See if they charge.
Wait, they created EFIN tokens because they're turning EFIN into an exchange, and they just want to create more money by having another ICO.
Exactly.
EFIN tokens now. So they went from Verge tokens, invested in creating TPAY tokens, and they're now, since they ran out of money again, and they want another, you know, $30 million to just, you know, buy influence on the internet and send me cease and desist letters, they are now creating EFIN tokens for their next round of scamminess.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, look at this.
They are. Look.
Yeah. It's a token. It's like EFIN is like their decentralized exchange ecosystem that has continuously not delivered on any promises. But you also now have a token and platinum, like, and memberships, and they're literally just trying to siphon money out of people at this point. They don't have money to keep moving forward. It's going to be a complete garbage. It's probably not going to become anything, but it's a complete garbage attempt at trying to siphon more and more money out of an ecosystem that is, you know, a lot of them have given up on TokenPay, but there still are some, you know. So I think that this is just their last desperate attempt to try to get some money and turn a profit. Now, one of the things that he does to try
to he's a CEO of yet another company, and it's the same freaking people. It's the same scammers. It's the same guys, same chief marketing officer.
Derek's just on a power trip.
Let's see if it's the same lawyer too. Who is their lawyer? They have an Ethereum advisor, Douglas Molina. Who's their lawyer? Who's their legal counsel? Graphic designer, software engineer. Another CEO. Okay.
Block size. Maybe that's a different company, and
maybe that's the next. Maybe they're already preparing for the next scam token.
Absolutely. Like he said, he keeps, every time I've had an interaction with Derek, it's always about an ecosystem. And like, that is just a way from, like, I interpret that as him saying, I'm going to continuously try to scam and scam and scam until I get billions of dollars. An anonymous source was quoted saying, from Derek Capo, I don't want millions, I want billions. And I really think that Derek doesn't care who he has to exploit to get there. He will pursue this objective.
What the hell is block size?
I don't know. This isn't my thing.
Let's see. Blockchain, fintech, and smart contracts.
There's EFIN on the bottom.
Okay, there's
EFIN. It's probably some garbage partnership.
An international software development firm based in Latin America, specialized in blockchain cryptocurrency. Our mission is to accelerate the mass adoption of digital assets, placing capital. Okay, block size works across chain, Bitcoin compatible chains, Lightning Network, Solidity smart contract. There's a Carlos, and that's the CEO and CTO. And we don't really have any other information here. Their team are these guys out of Latin America. Okay. And they're connected to ETHFin. Infinitesimal. That's probably another project. Man, I'm just curious if they have a scam token as well or not. I mean, like, how do they fund all this? Yeah, like the rabbit hole just goes and goes and goes and goes. They're all interconnected. And it's basically just, hey, we're just going to keep creating tokens, and idiots are going to pump these tokens up, and we'll cash out, and we'll make millions. And I wonder if Litecoin, I mean, I'm sure Litecoin Foundation is aware that they are now associated with yet another straight up scam token.
I did see the video you were talking about with Charlie and Derek, and it was just like, how can Charlie?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm just gonna mute it. Go.
I just can't believe Charlie would really get in bed with some of these like super shady figures. And in fact, I don't like CZ of Binance isn't even they're not even traded on Binance. I don't even think they have the money to pay for a listing on Binance.
Well, they don't anymore. They had it before.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it should have been their gateway in. I don't know what they were thinking. At least they would have been traded. Now they're probably on a couple shady, completely unregulated exchanges.
Oh yeah, completely. All right, so let's get back. Let's scratch the whole ETHFin thing. So they've basically converted an old company from 2015 that had nothing to do with anything crypto into this. And this is another common thing for a lot of the scammers, is that same thing with Ripple. Like Ripple existed from before Bitcoin. Ripple was a company from like 2002 or 2003, long before Satoshi's white paper. And now, years go by and they start claiming we're older than Bitcoin. We've been around forever, right? Because you add the scam coin later on, and then enough years go by, and then all of a sudden, you're bringing up the old stuff. It's the same kind of bullshit that I deal with for Digibyte, which will probably be hopefully another future. How the hell do you spell it? DGDB?
I think it's DGB is the ticker symbol. I feel like I saw this a long time ago.
I think that one is like not in the hundreds. I think that one's like only in the there it is. Right. So, oh yeah, DIGI, right? So it's the same thing with the Digibyte. Like I met the creator of Digibyte in Hong Kong in 2014 when he was still building the damn thing. This was early 2014. This is back when even I thought that that altcoins may be somewhat useful one day. I came out of that stupidity by mid 2014. But in early 2014, I was still I wouldn't call myself an altcoin fanboy, but I was a lot more open-minded about altcoins, having something in the future that's useful than I am anywhere in the last 3 years. But something like Digibyte, right? Because it was so irrelevant for so long, but no one cared to just destroy it with a 51% attack, that the Digibyte scammers can now go and claim that they've been around for 5 years, and this means that they've been stable. All right, Let's get back to TokenPay.
So
right here. So tell us about this.
Okay, let's look at this. All right. Okay, so this one I might not be too familiar with. Again, this was all stuff provided by anonymous sources, and some of it I might have sent to you without having all the due diligence on it. So I don't want to comment on this just yet without everything.
Okay,
but,
we'll sit down.
Yeah.
Okay,
so this one, this one's great. This one's basically them failing every checkpoint.
Well, I mean, if you launch your coin, if you create your coin in 2017 and then you use 2015 history that had nothing to do with your coin, it looks really, really cool, like it was the plan.
Yeah, exactly. But as you can see, if ETH's been a plan since 2015, it still isn't one today. It's really failing. So I'm kind of it's interesting to me to see the promises that they make here and the defense that they get from their community is very like overly supportive. So considering they're essentially liars at this point by having roadmaps, repetitively failing deadlines, and in all likelihood probably not being able to complete them. There's been like some roadblocks along the way. Like examples are the use of like this is one thing that was pretty big. Okay, when the Americans were buying TokenPay for the pre-sale, they ended up having to refund a lot of that money, and this is where allegations of embezzlement come out. Now, Derek rejected these allegations to me directly in person or on video, but I still think that there's something to take note of, and I'm not sure if we have the documents here, but they might be like maybe a few away from this, but it's an important topic to discuss. All the money that Americans were paying for TokenPay, valueless tokens in exchange for BTC, had to be refunded. And apparently, the way they did that was through tracing, IP addresses and all kinds of stuff, which doesn't really sound too good on paper, considering they're supposed to be.
A hurricane coming through here. Hold on, I gotta before I flood my entire apartment. Holy shit! Actually, this is 1 second.
Yeah. You got the hurricane, you said? Oh yeah, it's been pretty we got some bad weather up here too.
All right, I got all right, my bad. Hold on.
Oh, all good. So let's see. 2018 Q3 Q4 Blue Diamond debit card ships.
My apartment is literally flooding at the moment because I had my windows open.
Oh man. Well, yeah, do what you got to do. I can just talk about this for a sec to the viewers.
No, this won't take long.
Okay.
All right, we're good.
Awesome. Glad you're safe over there, man. So yeah, pretty much. I mean, all along the way. I mean, 2017 Q4 release of white paper of TokenPay token sale. Their white paper has changed a number of times. It's kind of funny. Udi Wertheimer commented on that as well. Like when they were trying to talk about white paper, he was like, "Which one?" And he quoted like how garbage their first one was, and like I don't even know what they're at now. But one of the things, let's see here, agreed to acquire established bank. Um, I wouldn't really consider WG an established bank. You saw their financials are terrible. And not to mention they're not really a bank that would be a partner to a cryptocurrency that could help build some sort of Litecoin card or whatever you were talking about earlier, or some sort of what they have, Blue Diamond debit card out in Q3 or 4 2018. I just don't see this bank being the lending platform for something like that. I just don't see that happening, and obviously it hasn't happened. So we have the facts there. Let's see. They have made some modifications, I guess. I know a lot of their blockchain project was copy pasted, and I actually met with one of the individuals at Consensus who told me, yeah, they literally copy pasted our entire freaking thing. And I can see if I can get a comment from him, for some sort of additional commentary. So let's see, complete acquisition partnership of a bank, TokenPay website launched. Not a big deal. I mean, that takes a $30 in someone on Fiverr 3 days, Fiverr.com. So is this can we scroll down, or we're already scrolled down?
This is it. We're already scrolled down all the way. I love this one. As of the first quarter of last year, add TPAY to notable exchanges. Well, that was a total fail.
Yeah, 100%. And I think I have some information on that quickly. There's some information, proposal for listing TokenPay on Binance. There's a lot of information here that I like. Basically, they were supposed to be able to pay money for and Derek flipped out on CZ, or at least on the Binance people, like saying that he believes his token should be listed and he doesn't have the money to pay it, according to what I'm looking at. here's the entire document, and we might be able to go over this, but project name, TokenPay, privacy coins. I want to see where they're trying, where the financial amount that they're supposed to pay. Where are you right now on your roadmap? According to TokenPay at this point in time, merchant services platform 95% completed, doubtable. Mobile wallet of iOS Android was released. Okay, we've also just launched ethan.com cross change decentralized trading platform for desktop. I mean, I don't really know how launched that actually is. I mean, again, all I know about is people having to continuously pay for memberships, and someone that has paid for a platinum membership showed me what the inside of the exchange looks like, and it's basically just a lot of news. There's no exchanging going on. Our partnership with TokenPay Swiss AG, Litecoin, and WEG Bank corporate accounts are ready, while consumer and merchant accounts will be available by 2020. So there's a big old freaking, whammy. That's way off the table. Blue Diamond debit card ships to account holders doesn't look like Q3 or Q4 2018 is on the table. Multi-currency wallet, which will combine aspects of decentralized exchange and banking platform, due for launch in fall 2019. We'll see what happens there. Probably not going to happen. So there's just
is that their latest roadmap? They clearly stopped updating it.
Yeah, that what you have appears to be their okay. Let's 2019, 2020. Partner with ATM network
services, earner.com job board. This is what they have planned. So is this 2019? Here we go. Yeah. Token merchant services platform, tokenomics.com. Oh, so this is what they've achieved, huh? Let me see. I want to see.
I want to see if it's anything significant.
Well, the 2018 is now a little bit shorter now, isn't it? Right. So this is what they have now. TPAY utility coin integration into platform, completed due diligence of a bank, bought the bank, 10%, Token Swiss, signed NDA with large companies to work on integrating TokenPay. TokenPay Apple iOS and Android mobile wallets. And what the hell is Moondick?
Well, sounds kind of funny.
Merchandise platform by TokenPay and other crypto. Okay, so here's what they've accomplished in 2018. I'm going to do this side by side. Here's what they've accomplished in 2018. I don't know if that's doable. Hold on, I may have to switch my the way my screen share works. 1 second. And here's your screenshot. Where'd you get that screenshot, by the way?
These are all right. So the people that I've been working with have chosen to remain anonymous sources, but I do want to tip my hat to everyone involved. I mean, there have been some amazing contributions to this, and like I said, they choose to remain anonymous. But if they want to tag themselves or something in the Twitter thing and kind of take a bow, I think it would be great. But I'm going to keep their anonymity intact for now.
All right, so here was their plan for 2018. I guess this is where 2018 begins, right? Completion of token sale. This is under the 2018 heading. So I'm assuming we're talking this, and this. So completion of token, TPAY utility. I mean, this is nothing different. Add TPAY to notable exchanges on list for Q1 of 2018. That is nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
In fact, that has been completely removed from their roadmap. So clearly, it's not important to get TokenPay on any exchanges. Great job. TPAY Apple iOS and mobile wallets. I believe they created those. Yep, they achieved that in Q3 on plan for Q1. It's okay. At least they got it done. Complete due diligence of the bank integration. They got that done. And TokenPay website launched for commercial use. Well, that doesn't seem to exist anymore, right?
Yeah.
But the signed NDA has appeared.
That's extremely vague, though. That doesn't mean a damn thing,
Of course not, right? But they needed check marks, right? Complete acquisition or partnership of a bank. Well, they got that done right here, the 10%. Peer-to-peer multi-screen payment platform. Gone, not existent. That's been moved to 2019. TokenPay merchant service app. Q1 of 2019, no check marks. So we're already we're going into Q3, right? I mean, we're September already. So we're in Q3. Someone forgot to update the TokenPay website. What's going on?
Probably because he's not paying anyone.
Oh, correct. It's not easy, you know, keeping up with your websites and putting check marks up. Global merchant services applications available. All of that was scheduled for Q2 of last year. We're already in Q3 of this year. Blue Diamond. That at the end of last year, they were supposed to have Blue Diamond debit cards shipped to holders. Is there anything? Here it is. Token, Blue Diamond, and other private label debit cards shipped to holders. That has been now moved to the end of 2019. Nice.
Until it gets moved to the end of 2020.
Right. And they have a roadmap for 2020, TokenPay escrow services, earner.com, and other stuff. Yeah, so there's their roadmap. So here's what they've achieved so far. They created the shitcoin. They bought 10% of WEG Bank, and they signed NDA agreements, and they built a wallet app, and they created something called Moondick.
Man.
These were their achievements in 2018.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, honestly, that one caught me by surprise. I had no idea about Moondick.
I'm going to Google it. I'm afraid this will become a not safe for work show.
Oh, yeah, seriously. I know, like, so one of the things I wanted to bring up was like the when they bought back all these American investor money, like when they sold back they sold TPAY to Americans. It was illegal. They had to buy back the TPAY. So there's a big discrepancy here, and I think we're going to get to it here very soon on one of these future tabs about potential embezzlement charges. I'm talking they were using that money to buy domains that they potentially already owned. And so I want to get to that too, because I feel like that's really important. Try just going on to like the next couple.
Oh, yeah. Wait. So they own domains, and then they're trying to move the ICO money by selling those domains to themselves for a lot of money. It's literally what money laundering is.
Yeah, that's embezzlement, you know, money laundering. I mean, he basically, Derek tried to say, Derek, I want to find, like, we'll get to it, but Derek basically tried to say that Charles Moscow is the domain broker, aka Oliver Hoger. Oliver Hoger is the individual who is the domain breaker that they allege they bought domains from. And, you know, whatever the case is, Derek Capo was, I believe, quoted in one of these screenshots saying that Oliver is Charles Moscow, like, so pseudonymously acting.
Yeah, that's right. I saw that. It's in here.
And so we have Derek. Yeah, we have a screenshot somewhere, and Oliver Hoger is all right. Okay. This is TokenPay admins. We're just saying that at the bottom of the screen.
Where is it? Nope, that's the taxi stuff. Yeah, well, we have the screenshot of that as well.
So it might not have been Derek himself, but someone admitted that that Charles Moscow is Oliver Hoger. I do believe that could be very inaccurate, and they could have just been using, I mean, it seems like they're trying to use Charles Moscow as a scapegoat, and Charles Moscow saying, no freaking way, you're not going to pull me down with you. So I'm just, it's really crazy to think. I think Derek is completely unhinging. I think he's losing his grip because he really is unable to control a team of people that can, you know, build a project that isn't a scam. So the more people that realize this is a scam, the more people want distance from him. And yeah, this is Charles Moscow. So I think it's interesting that that there is allegations of embezzlement of funds into domains that they had already owned through an individual named Oliver Hoger, which you saw was blamed as it was identified as potentially one of the people within the TokenPay ecosystem. So there's a lot of shady stuff going in there. A major shareholder in TPAY, by the way, highlighted just above, Charles Moscow revealed to me that, again, he only threw 10K at this, and I think people like Derek take advantage of people like Charles Moscow who are.
Well, yeah, well, and that's the problem, right? Like you can throw $5 at something, but if you have a reputable name, they're going to use you as an investor because they're not going to specify that you invested $10, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the problem. Like if Charles Moscow is a legitimate businessman, he's got a lot to lose here just by associating with something as bad as TokenPay.
And that's what that's why Charles Moscow reached out to me, because for the longest time I kept calling him the puppet master. I kept saying Derek Capo is nowhere near smart enough to be running an operation like this, considering all these very, very terrible mistakes he's been making. I was under the impression Charles Moscow, you see there, it says strategy advisor. I thought he was like, you know, the hidden man behind the scenes. But it seems like Derek is trying to hijack this identity. And Charles has come forward to me with some information, and maybe I'll ask him for permission to share it. But some of the things that he has agreed to are the fact that he only threw a little bit of money at this, and he refuses to give Derek a DBA certificate because he knows now, understands what Derek did was completely illegal in raising funds and not reporting it to the government. And that's going to kill this coin when regulators come down with the frickin' hammer of Thor, like you've been saying.
All right, so we got a couple of the screenshots here. What do we got here?
So some of these could have to do with, oh man, all right. Just gonna run through this. Gaming team. It seems like TokenPay is really trying hard to build itself in the ecosystem, and a lot of things that happen, in my eyes, and things that I've discussed with the anonymous team I've been working on, are basically building up these very, very positive looking scenarios and basically not delivering on them. We saw it on the roadmap, but I'm talking about press releases now, where we have some very bullish type news, and then we have potential pumps and dumps that are almost, you know, we're getting close to being able to prove them on the blockchain. So, you know, some of this is evidence of them, you know, hugging and looking all happy and building these strong relationships. But the real truth here is, I think a lot of this has to do with pumping and dumping their own scam coin. If they can convince an audience, their holders, or even more people, that that TokenPay is building a partnership. Let's say how XRP says we're gonna, you know, partner with MoneyGram or whatever, and then you have this bullish news scenario that really isn't as it seems, and then you have people buying into it. Then you have the people with the bag holders, like the insiders, selling into the support built from that news. That's kind of what we have a lot of evidence of, and blockchain evidence and documents are something that maybe we can put in a form of a PDF or a link or something underneath the captions of this video, so people can follow all the evidence that we have to support these allegations that are, you know, just that for now.
Yeah, I really have to do something with CryptoScam.com. I would love for it to be like the WikiLeaks of the crypto scam sites. And but just again, manpower and time and money to get it all done is difficult.
Yeah. So here's an example right here. Charles saying, "Let's talk about Charles," or Jarek saying, "Let's talk about Charles." He's no longer an advisor, no longer involved in social media, and then we have a whole list of you know, avatars or, you know, pseudonyms for this individual. And I think I'm not sure what to believe. I think it's very possible that Derek took a lot of this in his hands. Charles Moscow did express to me that Derek created accounts in his name and forged documents essentially to make it look like he was someone else. So I think it's really interesting. I really think I think Derek has done so many shady things to try to build this, you know, this scammy ecosystem. And Charles Moscow came forward to me to reveal that, you know, he's pretty upset with the things that Derek has done as well. So I think this is Derek really going rogue here and doing some stupid stuff.
Yeah, and how do you prevent? Oh, Mr. Patel. We've seen Mr. Patel all over the Telegram chats. Is Mr. Patel? You believe that's Derek Capo as well?
Again, like I said, without hard proof, I don't know what to believe. But what I do believe is that it's that there's a number of shady things that have been going on, and there's the list just before. So yeah, I mean, I think it's very possible that this kind of stuff has been running rampant, and I think Derek is very much the source of it all. It's very possible that he's the source of it all.
Right. So Mr. Patel, I mean, I think I ended up in one of those TokenPay group chats for like a day or something. I don't even know how I ended up in there. But Mr. Patel was one of the people that's like the supposedly a bag holder, like just promoting TokenPay. And it's funny how Derek Kappa was claiming that Mr. Patel was Charles Moscow, and most likely it's just, you know, either Derek himself or Derek paying people to be all of these people pretending to be Charles to demonize Charles. I mean, how do these people find this time to get to just perpetually scam and scam and scam? It's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty much like, and you know what's even more amazing? That people support them, and I'm sure they're probably paid. Chinaman, whatever its symbol, and a couple of others.
I blocked that guy on Twitter long ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
Chinaman. Yeah.
He jumps, man. He is like literally. I think they have a Telegram group where they say, "Hey guys, there's a Twitter argument. Everyone, you know, rally the troops." And I'm sure other crypto camps have this too, but it's pretty funny, man. Chinaman comes out strong, and this guy is dumb. There's like a lot of people that just support, like just blindly support this stuff. Chinaman being one of the main front runners I've seen.
Okay, so this is them trying to incorporate again, right?
Let's
Those are the domains.
look,
This is the
look at
domains.
the domain.
This is the domains, right? So this is, I don't want to say it. I don't want
I know.
YouTube channel to get blocked. But here's a domain that they own, and my picture was all over this domain. I mean, this is what they use to try to bully people around, basically. They just put their face all over that domain.
Yeah, I see, and that's the thing about Derek and their attacks on people is basically these guys come out swinging. I mean, if you present the facts, like, you know, in most crypto camps, people come out swinging hard. It doesn't matter like if it's true or not. So yeah, this is absolutely very much a case of where Derek can just be, you know, trying to get in people's heads, or, you know, potentially trying to hurt people's brand by putting them up on this site. I think it's a pretty terrible thing, and basically just a testament of how Derek is really a dark asshole. I mean, this guy is really you know, willing to do whatever it takes for his own personal benefit, and that includes, you know, not paying a lot of people, all kinds of activity.
Here it is. Here is him saying that Oliver Hoger is a real person and a domain broker. What has been stated? I met him in Amsterdam at the Verge meetup. So is this supposed to be him? Is this supposed to be Oliver Hoger?
Well, that's definitely Charles Moscow, and I think, yeah, and I think Derek is just really trying to. I think he can just pull fast ones on everyone he crosses paths with.
All right, so there it is. So there he is trying to accuse Charles Moscow of being someone else. And yeah, here's him stating on Telegram that Oliver is Charles. And
this is someone. It looks like this is someone.
Not Oliver, right?
Charles.
That's not Derek. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah, TokenPay admins. So I mean, yeah, we're just correcting this. I made that mistake too. So we're, as far as Derek denied it. Derek said that he met Oliver Hoger at some point in time, and they used that American money to invest in domains as an investment. So the whole Charles thing being Oliver Hoger, I think, is really interesting for Derek to be or people to be pushing that agenda. Until it's proven, I think it's a really interesting move. Especially considering Charles has come to me with a lot of information and facts, basically refuting these claims with proof. So you know, we'll continue. I'm going to keep talking to them. You know, I mean, I think that I'm going to ride this thing till it goes to zero. This scam, you know, like, just because this is, you know, CryptoScam and we're doing an episode doesn't mean that this is the end. I mean, it's not the end until this thing is crashed and burned.
I have no interest in talking to Derek. I mean, this isn't a debate show, right? This is a show that like exposes it, right? Like, you don't have a representative of the U.S. government going on WikiLeaks to tell their side of the story here, right? Like, that's not how these shows work, guys. There's absolutely no interest in having Derek on a show. Derek can have any YouTube channel that he likes, and he can talk about his own stuff, and he can incriminate himself on other YouTube channels as he likes. I don't need him to do it on mine. I don't want to be dragged out as a witness for the SEC in his scam. So all of this information will just remain publicly available. Yeah, so these are, more promises. This is December 2018, not even that long ago. EXM is a great domain we got because we are thinking of launching a future project with it.
Yeah, this is basically just garbage. I can't remember how many, I might even have a note somewhere that Derek told me how many domains they own. It could be, it's in the tens, I believe, and they spent a lot of money on these domains. So I think that his goal was to try to buy domains as an investment, a hedge against Bitcoin volatility. But I think it's really biting their ass in the end because they're probably not worth much. And again, if with the embezzlement allegations, it's very possible that they, really just don't have money, and they can't sell these things to really to really turn a profit and try to build their ecosystem again from the ground, their scammy ecosystem from the ground up. Let's see. So what's this guy saying though? I want to see, after buying 10% shares in a German bank, 10% in a Swiss broker, 50% in a dev team, TokenPay has now 5% of Bitcoin Romania. That allows TPAY to be exchanged against fiat in 1,000 physical locations, opening doors to a huge remittance market. Well done. Okay, additional 5% of Bitcoin Romania, making it 10, a lot more than an ATM provider, as well as a TPAY will immediately integrate it in thousands of real-world exchanges. I hate that freaking term real world. It's like the #1 term that scammers use. And anyways, that's like Derek has always been trying to say that he's all about like the adoption and like the mass adoption of Bitcoin, and that, it's all about adoption. It's all about adoption. But this guy is really just trying to take people's money in every corner that he possibly can, and has really given like such little in return.
All right. Let me close a couple of tabs here. So yeah, and of course, these are more failed promises. This one made over a year ago. We're pretty much coming to the end here. This is TPAY promising to be in 1,300 tobacco shops in Australia. And of course, that didn't happen. That was April of last year.
This is an example of bullish kind of news scenarios where they could very well have been selling into support as a result of bullish type news scenarios. I mean, this is stuff that I think I'll get some documents ready for you so we can post in like the chat underneath the YouTube or something like that. But yeah, there are instances where this could very well be just trying to hype the crew, and then get some buyers and then sell directly into that. So these are some strong allegations, and we're working on more and more of this evidence for it to be fact. But it's good, getting really fun, getting really interesting. TPAY is just really unraveling, and obviously, there was the smoking gun. That was the biggest piece of evidence that we have as fact.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Derek, and well, we'll see. We'll see we'll see how it ends, right? People seem to still believe in this nonsense. People are all over our live chat still defending TokenPay a little bit. I'm sure enough people are going to buy into the EFIN token scam coin, and they'll be defending that one. It may or may not already exist. You can see how the price of the TokenPay coin is going straight down to 0, and Verge coin should not be that different, right? Verge coin is half a penny, but they also have a lot more tokens. If you look at, Jesus, look at this.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting.
Look at this pump at the end of last year, and then look at the dump, right? So this coin return on investment is claiming to be greater than 9,000%. That's interesting. Well, that's probably because it was worthless, because they. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was. It's a proof of stake coin, so somebody mined it. The insiders created it for themselves. And oh no, sorry, it's XUG. That's proof of work coin, kind of. They're getting 51% attack, but it's all insider coin. This thing has fallen. It was 24 cents at one point, and now it's worth half a penny. So do the math on that. It's probably down 9.99%, right? 99.9% that this thing is down. Its all-time high was at 30 cents at the end of last year, and its all-time low, well, it's all-time low because it was worthless when it started, like all of them, right? But the 52-week low is where it's at right now. So its 52-week low is the same as its 7-day low, and that's never a good sign, which is just above its 24-hour low. So basically, this thing is at its lowest it's been since 2017, and it's only going to get lower and lower and lower. This is another one of their partners that helped launch TokenPay. They were directly involved in the beginning. There's only so much time and research people can do, like us, because we just have way more interesting and more important things to do. I really wish that the website tokenpayexposed.com was still available, but you can read a lot more right here on Bitcoin Talk. I will be adding all of these links into the video description. Let's wrap this up, Joe. Like, what else you got?
So to wrap this up, I actually had a closing thought, and I just lost it for a second. Unfortunately, I just looked at my phone.
That's okay. That's a perfect segue because we just got new images, right? So we're gonna head on over to tonebase.com, guys, and check out where I'm traveling to next in the calendar section. If I click over to Financial Summit, we did it. I'm seeing it for the first time. I hope it renders the new pictures. Come on, do it. Damn it, didn't do it. Hold on. I have to, I'm gonna open it in, I have to clean cache. I'm gonna open it in incognito mode. 1 second. Financial Summit. I didn't get a chance to clear the cache. Right there. There are our new images for, and there's more coming. And there's we're going to be adding a few more people right there. Cool. So check it out, and the Financial Summit. All right, Joe. Closing thoughts.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at just be careful about scammers like Derek. I mean, the wider lesson to extrapolate from this is, people can make these grandiose promises and have these amazing looking roadmaps, but it's really scammy ecosystems, and people literally just only going to profit if you put money into their fake scam ecosystem. And TokenPay is a prime example of this. Now, be careful. This is, a 400 rank shitcoin. Hopefully, we're going to continue to bring you the best information we can in CryptoScam in the future. And I look forward to people hopefully looking at this video and seeing this as a WikiLeaks type scenario where people can hit us up on Telegram, hit me up on Telegram, and if you see something, share it, and we'll build an investigation. We don't have all the time in the world, but if there's something there, we'll take a look.
Yeah, and I really wanted this video for the record. Like, I really wanted to do it last year, but we got busy, and I'll bring it to you this year because next year this token may not even exist. This company may not exist, and I want a record of it. I was able to do an on-the-record interview with Reggie Middleton about TokenPay, trying to explain all the issues that I had with that project, and I'm happy I did that episode over a year ago now. So it's great to get a lot of these things out there because in the future you won't get the chance, and then there won't be a historical record. And then hopefully people will learn from stupidity, like investing in something like TokenPay. And we're not going to have another 2017 style run-up that literally a few people got rich, a few very scammy people got rich, and a lot of people did not. A lot of people lost a lot of money. And I think the 2017 environment, we'll see if it benefited the crypto space or it did not, because I didn't want to see it. I don't like seeing bubbles. I don't like seeing people investing in scams at the top of the market and then losing the money. So I was disappointed in all of the people that believe in garbage like TokenPay.
It's been sad, but this investigation has taught me a lot. You really got to get in close, and it's in order to get the information, it's a really deep dig, and here we have a lot of supporting evidence to really let you guys as a community understand why Bitcoin maximalism is even like my main focus. You know, this is straight up scam ecosystem, delusional innovations, blatant money grabs, and here we have a little bit of both. And you know, that's pretty much my sign off. That's how I look at altcoins.
All right, man. I'm gonna end the screen share here. And hey, thanks for joining me. We will try and bring you guys another one. Maybe this will be like a once a month show. That means we can cover 12 of these scam coins throughout the year. Not sure what will be next. Ideally, we'd want to go into the top 10. And that was my original plan, was just going to go down the market cap list and talk about things like Cardano and BNB and all the other ones. I mean, I've actually had this plan going a long time. Here's where I came up with the CryptoScam idea. This is before I had the domain or anything like that, or the series. It was a podcast called Unconfirmed Transactions. Transactions podcast. It was a podcast by it was an old podcast. I don't know if it still exists. Unconfirmed Transactions. There it is. And if you look at the old episodes of Unconfirmed Transactions, oh, okay, it was redone. Maybe it was taken over. It was Drop Listers podcast. And man, I forgot. Did I even have my YouTube back then? I believe I did. It's probably in the early days of my YouTube that we streamed it, or maybe we didn't stream it to my YouTube. But it was Drop Lister and I did an episode about Ethereum. Oh man. But it wasn't in 2018. I believe it was like 2016, or it was a long time ago. It was just around the time I was starting my YouTube channel. And yeah, I can't find it. But anyway, that's when we came up with the idea. I'm not even actually doing screen share. I was looking for it online. But yeah, if anyone was watching me back then, Drop Lister and I did a few episodes. One of them was just us attending an Ethereum meetup and then just making fun of it and talking about it. And that's where I got the idea of doing CryptoScam. And that was like 3 years ago. So there's the little history of how this show came about. All right, Joe, thanks again for joining me. We did the best we could. We had to get this done because otherwise we would never get it done. And the research was there and the thumbnail was there. So it had to go out. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully people will be smarter next time and you will start looking into a lot of these ICOs, a lot of these shit coins, because you know what? 99.9% of them are all the same. And if you think you're going to find that 1 out of 1,000 that will work, good luck to you.
Yeah. And one last thing, Tone, I'd just like to say thank you to all the anonymous sources that have contributed to this investigation. It took some brilliant minds to get this stuff. So thanks again to all the people that have contributed.
All right, very cool. Thank you so much for watching this episode of CryptoScam, and I will see you all on our next show. Bye, guys.